Hey folks, welcome back to the channel. And this time around, this solo stream is just me by myself. And I think this would be a perfect opportunity to let you guys know that this movie channel is for everyone. I cover all the genres, including the horror genre. So I got major props, big love for the horror genre. And speaking of horror, I think I would show off a huge stack of my horror Blu-rays. In the meantime, while I'm showing the stack, just drop your questions below if you want to get to know me, if you want to get to know what I'm all about, what my life is like with me, Joel. Yeah, just drop your comments below. Oh, looks like we got some comments here. Hey, Jason. Hey, Drew. Love you guys. Big Rod. Oh, thank you so much, man, for dropping by. Yeah, so if you just joined me, I'm just gonna show you guys some Blu-rays that are on my shelf. Again, drop some questions below. So let's see here. Marvelous show. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. So the first Blu-ray off my shelf is A24's Talk to Me. I'm sorry about the lighting. It's really bright in here. Talk to Me. I don't know if you guys have seen this one. Another one is Freaky, directed by Christopher Landon, who also did what's that name one? Happy Death Day. Hey, Joshua, what is your advice for someone who would love to start a YouTube channel? That is a great question, Jason. For someone who's looking to start a YouTube channel, I would say be yourself. Be yourself and figure out, sit down with a piece of paper, pen and pencil and piece of paper, and figure out what kind of content you would like to show people on your channel. Think of a name, figure out how to make thumbnails, little steps like that. Jason's here. Okay, Josh is here. Big Rod. Yeah, just learn the basics, I would say, before taking the big step with starting a channel, because it's a process. It is a process that you should carefully plan out. And I went in completely blind when starting my channel. I had this notion that, okay, if I'm going to start a channel, I want to focus on just horror movies. And I did that for a couple weeks. I figured out how to make thumbnails on my own using free apps. They weren't the best looking. My videos, I started recording on my iPad, and I started to switch things up. I branched out with other genres. As you know, as you can tell on my channel, I talk about not just horror movies, not just horror genre. I cover all sorts of stuff on my channel. And so, yeah, that's what I would say to the people, wanting to start a brand new channel in 2025. So next up, I have Abigail. A lot of praise for this one. I saw it in theaters. I was impressed for the most part. There were some surprises towards the end. Okay. The Black Phone. So this one's getting a sequel. I think it's most likely going to be a prequel. I don't know how it's going to play out because, spoilers, Ethan Hawke, as the grabber in this movie, he ends up dying towards the end of the film. If they were to bring him back, I think it's going to be a prequel. Jason says, do you watch some animes? I have been itching to watch some animes. Now, a couple of years ago, I was on a Studio Ghibli kick. I went to my local library and wanted to watch as much Ghibli films like My Neighbor Totoro and Kiki's Delivery Service. I wanted to watch those films, and I did, and they did not impress me. Maybe I'll watch them again. But yeah, there's some anime shows that look interesting, like on YouTube. No, on Netflix, there's a show I want to see called Chainsaw Man. Chainsaw Man. I know there's a season 2 coming out for that as well, so I do want to catch up on that. Arcane. Arcane is another one that some people are praising. Another horror Blu-ray I think is underrated. This is Don't Breathe from director Fede Alvarez. Great one here. So my question to you, Jason, is someone looking to start watching anime, what's like a really popular one? What would give your share your thoughts below. Now I know this isn't exactly a horror movie, but it's on my shelf. And let's see, Edward Scissorhands. Next up, one of my favorites in the Friday the 13th genre or franchise, Friday the 13th Part 2 on Blu-ray. I really want to own. There is a special edition steelbook of Friday the 13th Part 3. Anime Ninja Scroll Absolute Masterpiece. You know, I'm going to write that down. Anime Ninja Scroll. Yeah, I hear, hey, Tennis Reaper. Anime Ninja Scroll. Have you guys checked out the app Crunchyroll? Crunchyroll, I believe. I don't know if it's still around. Yeah, Friday the 13th Part 2 and 3 are my go-tos for Jason. Friday the 13th Part 2 is really the introduction of Jason. 3 is when he gets the mask. So yeah, I mean, you can't go wrong with Part 2 and 3. Jamie, hey, how's it going? I'm just showing off a lot of just my Blu-ray horror movies off the shelf. And yeah, another movie is Evil Dead Rise. This one came out of left field, and I really dug it. I really dug it for a lot of reasons, mainly because it shied away from the spooky cabin possession stuff and just brought it to the real world in an apartment complex. We find out that there's more than one Book of the Dead, so there's a lot of stuff that the movie plays with, and I give it some major props. Yeah, so Jamie, if you're just joining us, I'm just showing off some random horror movies off my shelf. If you want to drop your questions below, anything to get to know me. Frailty. Now, I purchased this one this past October for Spooky Horror Month, and I dug it. I saw this long ago. Hey, Eli. I saw this long ago. I still remember the twist, but it's so damn good. It's so damn good. And it's oh man. Yes, it was. Yeah, if you haven't seen it, stars Bill Paxton. He is a father with 2 sons. He has this mind-boggling vision, and it tells him, hey, God wants me to hunt these people down because they are not human. They are demons. And these kids are just, these poor boys, they're just traumatized by the fact that their father, their only parent in the home, is putting them in this situation. And it's terrifying to even think about. All right, next is a big one, Hereditary. The first time I saw this, I didn't have a clear vision of, hey, Jeff, how's it going, man? I didn't have a clear vision. I needed to collect my thoughts. I needed to see this once again. And lo and behold, I did, of course, 2 or 3 more times. And if you watch this close enough, there are telltale signs of what the hell's going on. Little details about the people that pop up, and you finally get the big picture. The big reveals at the end, of course, but in the end, this poor family not only makes things worse for themselves, but they were doomed from the start. Next up is a classic. I saw this a few months ago. I love it even more. I understand why this is still stands out amongst other vampire films. I think this is one of the biggest, best vampire films, in my opinion. And that's saying a lot because I'm not the biggest fan of vampire films, but there's something about this one. The setup, it's cool, it's hip, it takes place in the 80s, and you have these likable characters, these kids. And I like the twist at the end. If we don't know who, the head vampire is until he actually shows his real self. And it just makes for, it's also, you could think of it as when David hangs out with Michael and the gang. It comes off, David, played by Kiefer Sutherland, he plays mind games with Michael. I don't know if you guys picked up on that. They could easily, they're vampires in here. Kiefer Sutherland and his friends, they're vampires, and they can easily take Michael out, but they don't. They want to befriend him. They really warm up to him. Jason is saying, what did Jason say? Have I seen Nosferatu? I have. I saw it opening day. I appreciated it. As a director, Robert Eggers kicked ass. He's still kick-ass director. As the film overall, I was expecting, I don't know what I was expecting. I was expecting Count Orlok to be more of a menacing threat. But instead we got this gothic tale, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that in the end. It wasn't heavy. I think people were expecting it to be heavy on the blood and guts and blood sucking. We get some of that, but I think that's not what the movie was going for. Next up, I have this Thrills and Chills 4-movie collection. It is Quiet Place, Pet Sematary remake, Crawl, and Overlord. Now, if you haven't seen Crawl, I definitely recommend it. It is about a young girl who is caught in this horrific storm, and she goes to her house to look for her dad, who is injured underneath the house, and there's all sorts of alligators that are about to kill them, and it's a heart-pumping race for survival. It's amazing. Next up, Midsommar. I say Midsummer, but it's Midsommar. This one is directed by the same guy who had directed Hereditary, Ari Aster. Oh, someone says he's a barber. Someone's a barber? Oh. This one, it's lengthy. I think people will be turned off by the fact that it's 2 hours long, not a lot that's going on. You have to really pay attention to what the movie's about. And I've always loved this movie. It is a remake from 1990, I believe. Night of the Living Dead, based on Romero's classic. Tom Savini. Tom Savini is a freaking genius, man. not only did he direct this, but he's known for like he's a craftsman. He is known for putting together like spooky masks, and he's a visionary in his own right. And fun little fact, he was part of he worked on the original Living Dead with Romero, and that's amazing to hear. Fun little facts like that really get me going, you know? I always loved horror movies. Back in the day, I saw like really cheap ones, and those just got my blood flowing. All right, guys, I'm going to get some more Blu-rays off the shelf. All right, guys, here's another random stack. American Psycho. The more I watch this, the more I understand why this movie is so great. From the one-liners from Patrick Bateman are so funny. Don't just look at it, eat it. Don't touch the watch. If you know, you know. Tennis Reaper, I want to know your name. Who are you? Do I know you in real life? Dr. Sleep. Now, if you guys never seen Dr. Sleep, my collection, oh gosh, I haven't that's a good question, Eli. I have not sat down and took my time and counted each and every Blu-ray. I do have DVDs too, but compared to other people's, it's not that big. I think I will have to do that sometime. Yeah, I don't know, 500. I'd say 300 or less. I'd say 300 or less movies. Dr. Sleep. This is such a very interesting horror movie. So this is a sequel to The Shining, if you didn't know. 4,000. Wow. Plus another VHS. Yeah, I've noticed there's a big trend this past year. There's a big trend of people collecting VHS again, and I think I want to jump on that bandwagon. So if I ever go to a garage sale, a yard sale, I'll seek out physical media VHS. But only if they're worth buying, if they're worth taking home. Drew, check out Drew's channel. He is always posting pretty much every day. If you're into Lego shorts, anything related to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, do check him out. Yeah, Dr. Sleep. Oh man, I don't want to give a lot. I don't want to give anything out to this one. Now, if you like James Wan and his work with Saw movies and The Conjuring, hey, Tiana, Dead Silence. I saw this when it came out, and it spooked the hell out of me. Shaun of the Dead, always funny. The first couple times, I laughed my ass off. Shaun of the Dead, you can't go wrong with this one. I adore this film. The first couple times I saw it, I couldn't stop laughing. But I wish The Evil Dead, which is the first one, was in stock in more places, but it's hard to find. On eBay, it's a lot of money for the first one. So I'm really hoping The Evil Dead gets another re-release. Hot Fuzz, I've seen a couple times. I know what it's about. I don't own it, but I will own it eventually. It's funny. I have to rewatch it. I know it's the same guys who were in Shaun of the Dead. Evil Dead, I think over the years, in the past 5 to 10 years, There's been a huge following for this movie. And I think this is really people's introduction to this Evil Dead universe. I didn't see this in theaters. I missed out, but that's okay. I understand why people really dug this movie. Have any of you not seen Freddy vs. Jason? I would like for you guys to see it at some point if you're into horror movies, and check it out. And let me know your thoughts if you've seen this one. Oculus. Oh yeah, Mike Flanagan's Oculus. I saw this in theaters. Yeah, Freddy vs. Jason is just okay. What bothers me the most, it's not the story, it's not the characters, it's the look of Jason. Yeah, this huge hulking statue that doesn't have a lot to do, and his mask is hideous looking. It's not cool. And I don't like the makeup effects on Freddy. It's too shiny. It's too good looking. It's not, the type of makeup effects we're used to seeing him in the Nightmare on Elm Street movies. But yeah, Oculus really is something to talk about. This is a movie that really flew under the radar and not a lot of love for it, but it's a very interesting premise, and it's called Amusement. Now, it is about three or four girls who grew up together. There was a young kid, a kid who went to school with them, and pretty much he hunts them down one by one years later as adults. And he plays these twisted mind games with them. Now, if you don't care for this film, I'm going to spoil I'm going to spoil a little part at the end. No, Tennis Reaper, I don't have that many DVDs to fill up a whole room. So, the last remaining girl in this movie, she's climbing up a ladder to escape this psycho guy. And no, there's two girls climbing up the ladder, and the psycho guy is right behind them. And before they reach the top, the psycho guy grabs one of the girl's legs, he pulls her down, and they both fall. It seems like to their death, because you hear the bodies hitting the ground. And the remaining girl, she escapes, obviously, and the guy pops out, 5 minutes later. So I was like, did he survive that high fall? That's nuts. That's ridiculous. Army of Darkness, the third entry in the Evil Dead films. So cool. If you haven't seen it, yeah. So yeah, if you guys just joined the stream, drop any and all questions if you want to get to know me. Towards the end of the stream, I will be giving away a few digital codes that might pique your interest, or if you're interested in them. All right, guys, I'm going to grab some more Blu-rays. All right, next up we have The Witch from Robert Eggers. Now, if you ask me, this is still my number one Robert Eggers film. It is chilling. It feels like a reenactment of what this feels like a true story, and it's frightening. So this is my number one. The Lighthouse is number two. Nosferatu number 3, and The Northman number 4. Favorite. Let's see. What is your favorite? Let's see who asked. Oh, Jeff asks type of music. Great question. The type of music. So in the mid 2000s, when I was in high school, I really dug a lot of bands. A lot of rock band. I was really into rock music. Sum 41, Good Charlotte, 3 Days Grace, Breaking Benjamin. And then I got into some heavy metal music. I know that sounds weird, but yeah, I was once upon a time I was really into heavy metal music. But that's a story for another day. What is your favorite sport? Oh gosh, NBA by far. NBA, basketball, I should say. NFL, some MLB, baseball, but yeah, basketball will always be close to my heart. Thanks for the question, guys. Thanks, Jeff, for the question. Tennis Reaper. Now, Malignant is another film by James Wan. I dig that. Can I dunk? No, I'm not that tall. I dig the effort, the originality that James Wan put together here in this project. Yeah, there's some references to or inspiration, I should say, from other films. But yeah, this is really really cool. Next up, not a lot of people like this one. It is a spin-off from the Conjuring universe. I got this dirt cheap. It was like $2.99 at my local, rest in peace, my local Big Lots. Survival of the Dead wasn't half bad. I think this is another spin-off of the Living Dead franchise. First came Diary of the Dead. No, Land of the Dead, Diary of the Dead, and Survival of the Dead. So this one's not too bad. Directed by George Romero. I like when I find these cool gems. This is The Fog and The Howling, which I didn't own. Now, if you haven't seen The Fog, it's directed by John Carpenter. It's a bit boring. It's a bit slow. It doesn't pick up until like the third act when actually these dead pirate ghosts invade this little town. And by the time that happens, the movie wraps up. It's nothing to write home about. The Howling, I appreciate it for its practical effects and the makeup effects, scary werewolves. Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Once upon a time, I owned this on DVD. And I didn't. I think I donated it. Then this past October, I saw this on my local Target, surprisingly, and I had to pick this up. So I didn't own it. Thank you, Tennis Reaper, for 500. 500 subscribers. I couldn't have done it without you guys. You guys mean a lot to me. And your contribution matters, as I've said in the past. All you guys, I try to watch your guys' content as much as I can. I think about your channels. Let's see. I actually do. I am the captain of a team. Wow. Soccer, it's always been, growing up, soccer's always been around. When I was younger, I used to be on a basketball team as part of a program with other kids. And then later on, there was like a lot of soccer teams and they'd play in tournaments. Stir of Echoes is an oldie but a goodie. Kevin Bacon. Very, very cool movie. If you haven't seen this one, I definitely recommend it. I really hope there's no remake. I hope there's not a remake. There might have been. Who knows? Scream 4 I had to pick up because I don't own it. And okay, so all I need now is Scream 4. No. Scream 3 and 6. Kevin Bacon. Yes, Kevin Bacon killed it. Next up is a little vampire film called Salem's Lot. What's your favorite scary movie? Oh, gosh. There's so many good scary movies. Favorite. You know, I think there's a difference between guilty pleasure and favorite film. Oh gosh, that's enjoyable, but or something I want to. Are you looking for something I wants to like one to get scared by or favorite? I don't know. That's a tough question. What is my favorite scary movie? Oh man, I'm gonna have to get back to you on that one. All right, now Salem's Lot, another Stephen King novel adaptation. I really dug the look to the vampires, but towards the third act, there's a lot of just, you know, nonsense, arguing, and not a lot of action. Silent Hill Revelation. This one, there's something about this one that stuck out to me. I think it has its moments. It's not the best. It's poorly, I think it's poorly done, but the atmosphere and the presentation really made this one stick out for me. Got this one at my local Big Lots. I think one of the first 4K movies I own. I don't own a lot of 4K movies. Spiral from the Book of Saw. Now this takes place in the Saw universe, and again we're following this lead detective played by Chris Rock. He's hunting down this Jigsaw type like killer, and just makes for a fun movie. One of my favorites, Poltergeist. This movie, man, despite how old it is, this movie I like the setup where we really get to know this family, what they're all about. It's just awesome. And it isn't until like the beginning of the second act that everything starts to like unravel. This lot of poltergeist is haunting this family, and a lot of special effects I really enjoyed. It put you to sleep? Yeah. Salem's Lot. It has its moments. I will give it that. It has its moments. Yeah, there's a Saw movie coming out, Saw 11 this year. Saw 10 I saw in theaters. Definitely story driven. I was expecting something different, but it has its moments. Again, it's one of those films that to me I don't see that Saw 10 having that much rewatchability. That's just me. I don't own it, but yeah, if you like it, you like it. That's cool. But yeah, Poltergeist. There's one scene towards the end where you have a mom trying to rescue her son in this like pool, this muddy pool, and all these skeletons and these corpses pop up, and it's so gruesome and so cool at the same time. Now, If I heard this right, I believe they used real cadavers, real skeletons for that scene. Something about it that's truly terrifying. Now, I saw this in theaters and I've watched this a few times. I have the only gripe, and still to this day, my issue is with this film is the look of Pennywise. I get they were going for a very old Shay Rants. Hi, hello, hello, hello. They were going for, I think the movie was going for something very old from the 30s or 40s. The clown, I don't like the look of Pennywise is what I'm trying to say. I prefer the look of the 1990s Pennywise. Yeah, if you're just joining the stream, you're welcome to ask me any questions. And towards the end of the stream, I will give away some digital codes if you're interested. Yeah. In the end, Pennywise is weird, not creepy, or not scary. He's not definitely not scary. He's just weird looking. I don't know. The look is I mean, I would love to have seen, other options. I don't know. And of course, Nightmare on Elm Street. Wes Craven here, man. This guy's a freaking genius. If you got a chance to watch the special features, there's a cool scene in the movie. A bedroom scene in which a teenage girl is like being dragged up the wall and on the ceiling of the room. And the special features shows us how that scene was done, and so brilliant. All right, guys, I'm going to get another stack of movies. Don't go anywhere. Next up, we have another underrated vampire film, 30 Days of Night, starring Josh Hartnett. He works in this little town in Alaska. I think this is a more impressive vampire film. I think people have overlooked this film. Next up, we have a sequel to The Conjuring, Conjuring 2. This is master at working. James Wan directed the hell out of this thing. Conjuring, this is the movie that started it all for this universe. Took the world by storm, and it has some terrifying moments in it. I'm not gonna lie. I had to pick this up. I did not own either one on Blu-ray, and that is Scream 5 and the original Scream. Okay, so I enjoy the hell out of Scream. It's a brilliant horror movie, one of the best horror movies in the last 30 years. The issue I have with 5 are the killers. I just didn't buy it for one bit. The boyfriend was the killer. Some random girl I didn't care about was the killer. The payoff wasn't that the best. But two big positives about Scream 5 would be the return of David Arquette, Courtney Cox, Sidney Prescott, and Stu Macher's house. I loved that Stu Macher's house was brought back in this 5th installment. And that got me to think, Stu alive? So that piqued a lot of people's curiosity, and went to go see this one and support it. A lot of high praise for Sinister. I don't know if it's my TV, but every time I watch this film, There are a lot of dark scenes, and I just can't figure out what the heck's going on. So it must be my TV. But yeah, there's a lot of dark. The light in terms of lighting, it's so dark. Like every scene. Sleepy Hollow, so damn good. Another Tim Burton directed film. Christina Ricci, Johnny Depp at their peak. Peak Johnny Depp. Tale of Sleepy Hollow. If you haven't heard of it, watch this one. Watch this one in October or anytime you feel like it. I love the atmosphere and the look to Sleepy Hollow. I love the setting to it, the look, so foggy and dreary and damn right depressing. But yeah, I just like the fact Tim Burton. I like the fact that he isn't afraid to go there. You know, he's not just he has gothic elements in each of his movies, but if he wants to turn it up to 11, if he wants to give us something frightening and grotesque, he isn't afraid to go there. And I love that about Tim Burton. Based on those short stories from the 90s, scary stories to tell in the dark. I dug it. I dug, some of it. I suggest if you guys want to watch this one, read the books first. There's three. I think there's three books. Scary stories to tell in the dark. A movie that captivated audiences. Saw. Now, this was clever for a lot of reasons, but I think this is the beginning of when people started using the term like torture porn. I think that term's utter ridiculous and nonsense. But yeah, this is the first film that really brought us Jigsaw. Twisted franchise, yeah. One issue I have with the franchise, and I wish they'd stop doing, but it's too late now, are flashbacks. Way too many flashbacks. Way too many. And if you're watching a Saw movie, there are multiple flashbacks, and that just kind of takes me out of the experience. Another classic here, another film based on a novel by Stephen King, The Shining. Now, when this came out and was directed by Stanley Kubrick, Stephen King did not like this film because a lot of the inspiration in the book was based on Stephen King's life and how he had an alcohol problem. And in the film, that was portrayed as this guy who lost his mind. It didn't seem like he had a alcohol problem, and he turned out to be this maniac killer. And because of that, Kubrick play game my Jigsaw. Yeah, Stephen King to this day did not like Kubrick's Shining film. A masterpiece of a horror movie, The Thing. Now, keep in mind, I don't know if you know this, but this is based on a remake. Yeah, 80s and 90s. Yeah, I gotta have the classics. If I'm a movie collector, I gotta have those classics. And still to this day, I still want to own classics. The Thing sets you up for a roller coaster of a ride. A scary good time. Speaking of scary good time, 1990s, Silence of the Lambs, directed by Jonathan Demme. So many iconic moments in this one. It puts the lotion on the skin. Dr. Hannibal Lecter. If you want to watch more of these movies, this is pretty much a franchise. If you really think about it, there's the Manhunter. There's a Manhunter movie. It's a prequel. No, I think it takes place before Silence of the Lambs, and a character, Dr. Lecter, is in that movie. Buffalo Bill will always be one of the most notorious killers on screen in a film, fictional character. Annabelle Creation. This is the sequel to the Annabelle film, which is a spin-off from the Conjuring universe. Directed by David F. Sandberg. Very creepy, very creepy. Got Annabelle. Now, if you don't know about Annabelle, it's based on a possessed doll that was first introduced in the Conjuring movies. All right, pretty soon, guys, I'm going to wrap up this live stream because my voice is going out. Greatest villains of all time. Gosh. I could throw a bunch out there. You know, the Darth Vaders of the world, Joker, Scar from Lion King, The Purge. Something about the Purge movies that are really gripping and terrifying. Villains. That is a good one, though. Greatest villains of all time. All right, guys, now I'm gonna, as we close out this live stream, I want to now, so I'm looking at, hey, Sam, Brendan, happy Saturday. If you're just joining the stream, I'm about to end it. I'm about to give away some digital codes. I'm looking at 4. Let's see. What is your favorite non-horror Christmas movie? Oh gosh. Ones that come to mind are Christmas Story, Home Alone, just the basics. And just recently, there's one that's really gonna stick with me over time, and that is Christmas with the Cranks. Yeah. Oh, can't leave out Batman Returns. Batman Returns is one of my favorite films of all time. Number 2. My number 1 film of all time is Jurassic Park. Now, if you guys are interested, feel free to message me. I have a digital code for Abigail. I have a digital code for, it's a 4K digital code for Dune Part 2. Transformers Rise of the Beast, and Top Gun Maverick. Got a Blu-ray code for Top Gun Maverick. Yes, I will send you that code, Jeff. First come, first serve. All right, guys, with that said, drop any last minute, about 30 seconds. So drop any last minute questions you have for me. I really, truly appreciate you guys showing up. Thank you for the questions. Thank you for allowing me to be in this position. And thank you for just thank you for the bottom of my heart. I will continue to reinvent, bring you guys some new ideas, new video ideas. I think that's what I'm striving for right now. For 2P, most anticipated movie for 2P 2025. Oh gosh, a lot of eerie stuff. The Wolfman's coming up. Companion on January 31st. The Monkey. I'm excited for The Monkey. 28 Years Later. So many good hits. What's your next hyped physical media release? So currently, I still have my mind on the Barnes and Noble Arrow video sale right now. That's still happening, I think. I was about to go on their website, and I still want the Donnie Darko Arrow from Arrow Video. Yes, Companion looks good. I don't know if you saw the latest trailer, but you should stay away from the latest trailer for Companion because it gave away a lot of good stuff, and it's just a shame. Knowing the stuff that I saw already in the trailer. But yeah, nonetheless, I'm gonna go support the movie either way. Yeah, so my next physical release, I have a bunch. But yeah, Donnie Darko right now is on my mind. From Arrow Video. It's like I still hope it's $17 because I went on the Arrow Video website itself and it's twice that amount. It's like 35 bucks. So if it's under $20, I'm gonna get it. Fingers crossed. I'm gonna have to order it because I really doubt that my local Barnes and Noble will have it in stock. Thank you, Tennis Reaper. Yeah. So I don't know if you guys know this. This is my second year on the channel. Since I made this channel. Bye, Brendan. Bye, Sam. Yeah, this will be my third. This October will be my third year making this channel. Oh, price match? Okay, I did not know that. I've always wondered about price matching, like in store too. I've always wondered about like Walmart does price. I don't know if Walmart or Target does price matching. I think Target does. I think they price match Amazon stuff, correct? I don't know. I could be wrong. Most Amazon. Okay. Good to know. Good to know. I will do my research. I will check on. Yeah, I'll check out Barnes' website and then Amazon, of course. But yeah. Oh gosh. All right, guys, this is going to wrap up the live stream. Again, I love you guys. I appreciate you guys showing up for me. I will continue to check out your guys' content, your channels. Jeff, I will be watching later. I believe it's this evening that you're going to be on your stream, so I will be there to support you. All right, guys. Love, peace, and chicken grease, as someone once said in the movie.